keyboard's all aligned. We've got a G, yeah, that's right. C, yeah, C there, so that's all aligned. So that's good. I'm happy with the position of it because it's where my keyboard is. If you ain't got a keyboard, you can use the table. So you just put just on the table. You need the keys underneath your fingers, I think. Another thing as well, don't like your room thing, because where I've been ill, I've just chucked all the covers over there and I've got the sofa. So I want to go to settings and I want to play in a different environment. I want to go into a music hall. Oh look, it's empty. You know why it's empty? Because I can't play. Right, so we've done a keyboard that's all personalised. Got a music library. And what song should we do? Camptown Races. What's this one? Do-da. G, G, E, G, A, G, E, D, E, C. And do that, but the other thing, let's just like, this will teach me. So I'm going back to Song Library. It's all done with your hands. Back to Song Library, and we want to do, that's like level 0, total beginner. Bit like me, I can make noise on my keyboard. You can plug it in so you can hear what you're actually playing. It does sound alright. Going to level 12. It's just, I suppose this is meant to be advanced stuff. Passage of play. Let's play that song, see what happens there. Oh, crikey, I wish I could do that. If you do this, you can put your music up in front of you. How cool is that? See, I reckon this would be quite a good learning tool for £8. You know, it's so cool. You can select right hand, left hand, or both hands. So, with me to start off with, it's just going to be my right hand. Then I'll do my left, and then I'll do both. You can turn your tempo up and down. What's this one? Oh, wait, this is because it's acoustic piano, but you can have a virtual keyboard, which would mean you can just play in the air like that. But you need real keys, I think, to learn proper. You've got metronome, so you can turn it on and off. And you can adjust your keyboard left and right if it don't work. If it's not working right, you can do your width. Keyboard. Oh, it's a multiplayer game as well, I forgot about that. So you can play with other beginners. Let's see how you get on, but I think this is pretty cool. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, for £8, what more could you want to learn to play piano? So you can hear the keys working. And it's actually tracks quite well. So I'm pleased with that. Back to back library. What other songs I got on there? Prelude in B minor. Show you the virtual mode, because not everybody's got a keyboard, have they? I used to use this mucking around on YouTube. Just dug it out, dusted it off, as to say. Stop song. Back to Song Library. Let's go reset keys. As we go home, this is all new to me. This is, so bear with it. So let me just do left edge, confirm. Right edge, confirm. 50. Right. reset. See if we can go back. How do we go back to home? That must be multiplayer. Seating, audio, seating. Oh, that shows the base. I'll put it back on pass through. Audio, visual. Put it back in the musical. Yeah. I can't work out how to do the rest. Oh, it was under settings there. What's that one? See, no achievements. Once, I reckon there's quite a bit to this, and it's quite straightforward to do. Wait, how cool's that? What other things has it got on it? That's a songbook. I wonder if got exercises for each note. The B flat. Look at this one. So you do. Moved it. Oh, cool. Song. What ones we got? I still want to see. Tried inversions. I should yeah, so I reckon that'll be quite a useful little tool to learn how to play proper. Turn that off. Where's me thing? That's my phone. Where's my dog? Hang on. Settings. Ugh. I'm normally a bit more awake than this, but I'm feeling rough as a badger's arse today. Go back to pass through. There's my girl. Say her birthday, Bunty. I'll just get that back. Oh. And then we're back into there. This is cool, this thing. If you go on immersive, look at that. How cool is that? I'll look on the TV. I don't know if it'll record this, but we'll soon see. Bit of David Attenborough. What about that?
I'm on a fantastic journey to look for the origins of life. It will be a journey full of wonders. Using the latest technology, it's possible to bring to life the very first living creatures that appeared on the planet. For the first time in 500 million years.
If you've not got a VR set.
Humans first appeared around 2 million years ago. The dinosaurs were wiped out 66 million years ago. The first complex multicellular organisms arrived around 550 million years ago. But for the first 3.5 billion years after the formation of the Earth, all that existed here were microscopic single-celled organisms. The planet was very different from the one we know today. The early continents had only just solidified. The land was volcanic, dry and lifeless. But deep in the oceans, life was beginning.
Let's have a look at the oceans.
Here, there were single-celled organisms. For millions of years, conditions remained unchanged, but slowly oxygen levels in the Earth's oceans began to rise, and that had a profound effect on the development of life. Cells began to stick together, forming clumps, some of which would eventually evolve into the complex animals we know today.
Started from that.
These clumps of cells were held together by strands of a new protein, collagen. It's sometimes called the sticky tape of the animal world. It's the most common protein in our bodies.
Isn't that what you have in
Collagen
shampoo?
enabled cells to stick together.
Or was it skin cream?
The advantages of being multicelled were many. Clumps of cells could collect food more effectively. They could control the internal workings of their bodies, and by working in a coordinated way, be more efficient.
Immense scale.
It was the beginning of complex life. Millions of years later, life had evolved far beyond its infancy as simple clumps of cells into considerably more complex forms. Charnia was a member of a community of creatures that lived at the bottom of the ocean 550 million years ago. This strange leaf-shaped organism is the oldest large multicellular creature we know of. Anchored to the sea floor, well out of the reach of light, they grew up to 6 feet, 2 meters tall. Having such a simple body plan came at a heavy price. Just a few million years after they first evolved, they vanished. An evolutionary dead end. Just as Charnia was dying out, new creatures appeared that were constructed in a completely different and more complex way. And they were able to take a new and crucial step. They began to move. The first animal movements were undoubtedly slow, perhaps even too slow to notice. Dickinsonia crept about, feeding on the organic matter on the seafloor beneath it. Perhaps it moved with the help of hundreds of tiny tubular feet, as starfish do today. Kimberella was an early ancestor of the mollusks. It probably had a single muscular foot, just as snails and slugs have, with which it pulled itself along the sea bottom. Sprigina was the first animal we know of with a head at one end and a tail at the other, and between a body with two identical halves, were it to be split down the middle. But once animals developed mouths and the ability to move, evolution
Start moaning.
Just a few million years later, an evolutionary blink of the eye, these animals began to evolve so rapidly that life seemed to have exploded into a multitude of new forms. Animals increased in numbers, diversity and size as never before.
It's like being in Egypt again.
Suddenly, the oceans were teeming with life. Pikaia was a tiny worm-like animal, but it had something new. The beginnings of a backbone. It, or something very like it, was the ancestor of all vertebrates. And here is Opabinia, an animal so bizarre it looked like an unusually bold evolutionary experiment.
Look at the colours on it.
The flaps along its side enabled it to propel itself forward. It had 5 eyes to search for food and a strange trunk with which to collect it. Wiwaxia, once thought to be an ancestor of earthworms, is now believed to have been an early snail with a spiked protective shell.
Hang on, Lily, I'm watching things under the water. Meow.
Hallucigenia was even stranger.
Jump on the key.
Its spikes were probably defensive, for now
Look at the size of this monster.
there were predators around. Anomalocaris may have been an ambush hunter waiting in concealment to grab unsuspecting prey.
Run, little trunky thing. Run, you far-eyed bastard. Oh, he's hungry.
It could grow to over a metre, several feet in length. It was, as far as we know, the first
Don't eat
big
me.
predator on Earth.
Where are we going now?
Creatures now needed to be able to defend themselves. Ammonites, relatives of today's squid and octopi, evolved shells. Other creatures evolved hard, jointed plates that encased their entire bodies, an exoskeleton. This innovation led to some of the most successful creatures in the history of life, the arthropods. These are called trilobites. Their exoskeletons made them very successful, and they colonized all kinds of different habitats, just as modern arthropods do today. So far, we have discovered about 17,500 different trilobite species, and they came in a whole variety of different shapes and sizes. Trilobites were, without question, the most successful animals of their time. Today, the trilobites are extinct, but in their heyday, the continued evolution of their exoskeleton enabled their arthropod cousins to dominate the oceans. Then, 450 million years ago, some arthropods appeared that were truly giants.
Let's see how big these things are. You're not very big.
Sea scorpions were the top predators. They were the biggest arthropod that has ever existed. And they could grow up to 2.5 meters, 8 feet in length. The fundamental features of modern animals were being established, and the arthropods were the great pioneers. In the oceans, life had begun. But the land remained barren and without animals of any kind. But there was food there, simple plants, and that tempted some animals to venture out of the water. Life wouldn't colonize the land for another 100 million years.
That's just one little thing. It's so cool. There's loads of stuff like this on there. And then we're back in our little area here. The games are cool, but I'll show you one of them and a different thing, so, you know. Oh, it's camera. Doo-doo.